It's your boy DJ Akademiks, and now Young Jeezy has a new album out. It's called Seen It All. It's the Autobiography. And now this is his 7th studio album, and his sales have came back, or his sales projections has came back, and they've came back from Hits Daily Double. Now, before anyone says it, because people are doubters, conspiracy theorist type of nigga, listen. Hits Daily Double, they're usually on point with their predictions because they use a pretty complicated formula. They take the first day sales reported by digital and retail outlets. They basically scale it up to 7 days, kind of factoring in the decline of each and every day. At least for the first week, they base it up on thousands and thousands of statistical data of how sales usually go. So usually it's pretty much on point within about 10%, and that's the variance, right? Anyway. You guys might even know what the fuck I'm talking about. That's a little bit of math. However, Young Jeezy is supposed to sell between 90 and 100,000 records, right? Now, for a lot of people who see this, and I've seen a lot of comments on social media, a lot of people asking me, yo, did Young Jeezy actually go triple styrofoam? Because you know me, I love finding out who the fuck went triple styrofoam out here. But let me break down the facts. First and foremost, United States album sales hit the sub 4 million mark for the first time ever. The first time ever. They've been tracking record sales by at least Nielsen has been, Nielsen SoundScan that is, since 1991. It's never been below the 4 million mark until last week. Now, it's been declining steadily over the last decade or so. It's been falling 20% each year. So not only for hip hop, because hip-hop is not the only genre that sells albums. Pop could be for country. Everything is going down. Now, hip-hop's taking a sizable portion of that decline, but everyone's going down. Now, if you're wondering what the fuck a 20% decline each year in album sales look like, imagine, overall you were getting $100 per year, right? You're getting $100 per year, and suddenly the next year you get 80. Then the next year you get 65, then the next year you get 50, then the next year you get 40, then you get 32 the next year, and then ultimately you get down to 25, right? In about 7 years, you went from getting 100 to 25. When you look at it like that, that's a noticeable difference, right? Pretty big. Now, basically, that's the same thing that happened to album sales. Basically, in less than a decade, we saw top rappers who went from selling Diamond when they were really hot, 50 Cent sold Diamond, to now the top selling rappers who got the most buzz, maybe a Drake. He's only selling 3 million over the same time period that we would normally see 50 Cent sell Diamond. Now, the first thing people want to say is, well, people don't listen to rap anymore. No. If capturing buzz, and it's hard to really capture what buzz is, but if capturing buzz was an actual stat, we'd realize that 50 Cent back then and Drake, at least before he dropped his last album, they kind of had comparative buzz, right? They were comparatively hot. Maybe you could make an argument who was hotter, but what I'm saying is they were in the same realm. Now, whatever difference you think it is wouldn't account for a 7 million difference. The difference actually comes from people just not buying records. Now, as I said, back then you could go Diamond if you're really hot. Now you'd be really good if you did 5 million over like 2 years. But now, as I said, with hip-hop's completely a different beast. Hip-hop and hip-hop artists like 50 Cent and other rappers, they educated their fans about Nielsen SoundScan. They made it into a sales race. We had people like 50 Cent who would go on the radio, he'd read out the SoundScan report. And now he'd read out the first week sales that now everyone is focusing on, oh wow, what did my favorite rapper sell the first week? Now, this contributes to this part of the sales argument, because I'm breaking this whole shit down, right? 40% of the final sales of a rapper's album for like a calendar year usually comes from his first week. So usually if your rapper doesn't sell good in the first week, might not sell good at all. That's different from like pop, where it's about 15 to 20% in the first week, which means even if they had a decent first week, as long as they got the hits, they can still make it up. Now, we have exceptions to the rule, like we had Future Vandross. He did okay first week, and then he had a ton of hits. He kind of followed the pop realm. But we see people like Drake, where most of the fans, they come out the gate and they buy it first week. Lil Wayne, most of the fans come out the gate, buy it first week. So that's the difference between a hip-hop and other genres. Now, the whole decline, as I said, the 20% down, 20% down, 20%, you can't blame that for everybody's decline in sales, right? Like, I can't statistically use that decline to say, well, that's why 50 Cent went from selling 1 million in a week to only selling 50,000. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Obviously, we have to then look at that buzz. Does he still have the same buzz? Obviously not. Now, hear what I propose, and this is why I like talking to you guys, because I do believe you guys are intelligent. In 2003, had Drake had the same buzz he had around Take Care, around before releasing Nothing Was the Same, Drake would have went diamond. This is what I believe. He would have probably went diamond, or at least 8 million or so. At least if he dropped Take Care at that point. Take Care currently is about at $2.5 million, and I'm just 2.5 million albums sold. I'm sorry, and that's just me. That's me taking his sales now, putting them back in time, and if he dropped the album back then. Now, I say all that to say, if we're gonna talk about rappers going triple styrofoam, now it's really a lesser value. So before, we could look at it and be like, yo, you didn't even sell 200,000? Nigga, you went triple styrofoam. Your shit flopped. Fell from top 10 and not mentioned at all. But now, we realize that 100,000 records sold for a rapper. And Young Jeezy, he did 233,000 albums sold of his last album, which was like a year ago or 2 years ago. So he took a 50% decline. So, listen, if someone's going to go triple styrofoam now, they're probably selling under 25,000, maybe 20,000. Back in the day, people would claim that they're moving that shit out their trunk. But nowadays in hip hop, if you're signed and you sell 50,000, you got to consider that a lukewarm win. Which brings me to my next point about being independent. If you realize that no matter if you are signed to a major, you're not going to sell those hundreds of thousands, and you have hundreds of thousands following you on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube, you have the ability to reach those fans. How about you just reach out to the one that's going to buy your album regardless? Yeah, fuck all the fray buyers, because what a record label used to do for you is, did 50 Cent really have 10 million hardcore fans that bought Get Rich or Die Trying, or even bought The Massacre? No. But those fray Christmas shoppers that would pick up albums in their Christmas basket when they're picking up gifts for friends, no one's really buying CDs for friends anymore, so you don't get those fray buyers. The only people buying the albums now are true supporters, and not only true supporters that are willing to spend cash on records still. Most of you guys probably love music to death, but you probably on Hulk Share, you probably on Share Beast, you guys probably on Bad Share, you guys on Zippy Everybody knows, or you're on Twitter just getting off your timeline, like niggas just hitting me for the shit, but that's what it is nowadays. So you can't even really say that rappers are going styrofoam too quick. You got to kind of see what the market is. You could only compare a rapper to another rapper. If you think they're kind of the same caliber, you could be like, well, nigga, you obviously flopped because you didn't sell what he sold when you should have sold what he sold. That's about it. But yeah, Young Jeezy, he's going to sell between 90 and 100,000. What do you guys think about that? Get in the comment box. Make sure you guys like, subscribe. It's your boy DJ Akademiks. I'm out.